And a warm welcome to this video. Alex here. In today's video, I'll share exactly how to break free from the mind's chatter once and for all, so you can live in the calm and the clarity of who you truly are. Here's what we'll cover. Number 1, how to realize you're not the voice in the head and disidentify from thinking. Number 2, how to let go of overthinking at any time. And number 3, why this easy way approach has you feeling sustainably peaceful and calm, free from mental chatter. When people talk about how to stop overthinking, they usually talk about meditation or suppressing the thoughts. But when we realize the simplicity and see this easy way approach to letting the mind calm, we can let go of thinking at any time and we can simply be with a calm and quiet mind. If you're on this video, I know you're a conscious being who is seeing how much of our thinking is so unnecessary, generating worries and fears and problems that aren't even real. It keeps you awake at night and generates so much suffering and so much unhappiness for so many. I know you're ready for a direct, immediate shift that gradually relaxes you into a deep emotional and mental stability. The great sage Ramana Maharshi said, "The mind cannot kill itself." Your business is to find the real nature of the mind. Then you will know there is no mind. When the self is sought, the mind is nowhere. And this was the trap I appeared to fall into. I remember I had such a busy mind, fueled by intense anxiety. I would have thoughts like, okay, how do I stop thinking? How do I stop thinking? Hang on a minute. Even thinking these thoughts is just more thinking, and now this is even more thinking. So I know the frustration you might feel. When I realized the immediate and always instantly accessible peace of being, everything shifted, and I was able to let my body and mind depressurize. This is what I'll be pointing at so you can always access it too. So the first thing is to become aware that there is a voice in the head. Although I don't usually call it the voice in your head because the truth is, it's not really in your head. It's in awareness. Perhaps you're walking around when you could be enjoying the scenery or the wind, but instead you're lost in thinking about your interactions with someone else. Or you're trying to enjoy a nice romantic evening with your partner, but then there's this mental commentary over the top, distracting you from being truly present and intimate. It may appear that much of the time you're talking to yourself in your head, and that's one way of describing what happens. However, when we look at it closer, we find out what's actually happening is that there's just thoughts appearing in awareness, and we're focusing down onto them. I invite you to explore this in your direct reality right now. You are aware, correct? And in this awareness right now, can you notice any thoughts that are appearing and disappearing on their own without effort? Can you notice that just by being aware of the thoughts and noticing them, you notice this self-talk happening? You take a step back from it. You zoom out your focus from it and you watch it from a greater perspective. It's just thoughts arising in awareness. Some people's thoughts appear to talk at them. You really shouldn't have done that. Now you really have something to worry about. You're a complete failure. Others feel scarily self-referential. I would have many loud, intrusive thoughts that said things like, oh God, I think I really embarrassed myself at the party last night. What did I even say? What must people think of me? This is so embarrassing. And I would feel this jolt of fear through me that felt like electricity that sent my heart racing. It really felt like there I was, the me in this painful, cringy, panicky story, and all eyes were on me, and there could be these terrible consequences. After I eventually calmed down and exchanged a few texts with everyone, I would realize nothing terrible happened, and it was all in my mind. And this is the next important thing to understand. Our thinking is primarily driven by our emotions, our feelings. A common misconception, even with some of the biggest spiritual teachers saying it, is that it's our thoughts that create our feelings. Think happy thoughts and you'll feel good, right? But the truth is, it works both ways. Believing in worrisome thoughts triggers fearful feelings in the body. But if your nervous system is hyper-aroused, or you have a lot of stuck emotions or trauma, you can experience many dark thoughts, even if you know deep down that everything's okay. As uncomfortable feelings are released, the body calms down and the mind quietens with it. But this can take some time to complete. So, how do we stop identifying with the mind and stop getting taken over by mental stories at any time, even in the times of heightened emotions? When I would have the sudden flash panic, intrusive thoughts about social embarrassment, I would believe that it was actually me thinking those thoughts. I would think, that's me talking to me. And as I imagine myself in this mental movie about what apparently happened, I would think I'm the character in that imaginary movie. The shift came when I realized I'm not that character in the thinking. It was when I realized, or more accurately, remembered, that I am the awareness, the beingness. This video is titled, How to Stop the Voice in Your Head, because it targets how we think we can get what we want. I've realized there's a voice in my head, is a massive problem, and it won't shut up, so how do I stop it? But the truth is, we don't need to try to stop the voice in the head. If we keep trying to suppress the thoughts, make them stop, or meditate them away, we'll spend our lives doing that, and never truly relaxing. What we really need to do is to realize it's not us. We're not the character in that story. And what we really are is this awareness, this consciousness. Let's take another moment to investigate this in our direct reality and experience. You are aware, correct? And in this awareness, can you notice sights appearing, sounds appearing, bodily sensations appearing? What about any thoughts appearing? If all the thoughts were to disappear, would you disappear with them? Or would you remain here, present and aware, still 100% you? How can you be the thinking or the character in the thinking if, when it disappears, you remain here, still present and aware, and 100% yourself? You see, you're not the one in the thinking. You're this presence of awareness, the silent watcher. At any point you find yourself believing in and identifying with thinking, notice it's not you, and simply notice you're aware, and that you are in fact this awareness. Simply relax and allow yourself to be, even if there's many thoughts. Don't try to stop the thoughts, simply be present and aware, and remember that this is the real you, not the character in any fearful or embarrassing story. A useful metaphor is that it's like zooming out on a camera. When it appears you're identified with thinking, your attention is contracted down, focused onto thinking, and the rest of the field of view disappears, and the whole attention can be consumed by a mental theatre. When we relax the attention, like zooming out, the attention opens up, and we become aware of our surroundings. We become aware that we are present and aware with all these sights and sounds appearing. We also become aware of what we're feeling in the body. See if you can notice any physical sensations appearing to come from the body area. How does your body feel right now? Doing this, you see, immediately draws you away from thinking about past or future to a present moment experience, and a refuge away from mental stories and mental chatter. It allows the feeling to begin processing and releasing, and as it's resolved and released, the body calms down and the mind activity comes down with it. This is why it's the easy way. In fact, it's the effortless way. the thoughts slow down and eventually stop on their own, not because you forced them to, or you tried to be really disciplined, but you were simply being and feeling. Instead of trying to fight your mind, micromanage the thoughts, or trying hours of meditation only to find the mind still whirling, you simply relax into being. As you relax into being, you allow yourself to feel any feelings that might be driving an overactive mind, allowing the body to relax and the mind to calm down with it. If a conflict with your partner is flaring up and the thoughts seem to be so tempting to identify with, tempting you to fight, argue back, or act out of proportion, simply pause for a moment and notice that you are. Feel the emotion arising in the body. Stay present with it, allowing it to transform without subscribing to the story. If it appears to catch you for moments, keep zooming out, keep coming back to being aware, keep feeling until all the emotional energy dissipates and you're calm again. How to stop the voice in your head? Be your beingness. Remember, the thinking isn't you, just thoughts arising in awareness. Be who you really are. Awareness. At first, I was being aware amongst many seemingly disturbing thoughts and emotions. I discovered an instant access to a peace that's always present, even in the face of uncomfortable thoughts and feelings. And I knew that trying to stop them wasn't the path. Instead, I kept resting as the awareness, seeing the thoughts come and go, realizing that whatever they do, they don't define who I am, and I don't have to believe them. And the feelings, however uncomfortable, can't harm me. Over time, the body began to release so many stuck emotions, and every time that happened, I would feel calmer, and any thinking would be quieter. I was simply able to be, for extended times, not thinking, just simply being, just watching the world go by, and eventually just watching my body and mind move to create videos, do client calls, completely spontaneously, with a feeling of ease. When you recognize who you really are, you're not the character in the thinking, but the aware consciousness. Everything begins to shift, and the mental chatter dissolves with it. You're no longer consumed by mental movies about bad things that could happen. You're no longer living in a dense personal world of me where everything feels like it's about me and feels really heavy. You're resting in the peace of who you really are. If you're interested in going deeper on awakening from mind identification and releasing the fear and anxiety in the body, I recommend you check out Awaken Embodied. It's my community platform. The link for that's in the description below. See you in the next video. I hope this one helped. Peace.